Well, hello, creatives, community, and kind folks. Welcome to RPG with DBJ. I am your host, DBJ, and today on this series of the Armchair Futurist, we're going to talk about um, AI systems and the wave of AI that's coming towards us. And each day I take a position to debate with you about how we are going to be shaped and molded and how we look at artificial intelligence. So sit back, relax, grab your snacks. We will get through the introduction, and then I will state my position. And mind you, this position is from the various iterations that I see around the interwebs about how we should look at AI, for good or bad. And today we're going to take a look at. I'm going to argue the position that is AI making us, or will it make us like lazy, stupid, and arrogant? uh, I don't know. So let's get into it. All right. So again, we're finishing out this week. We might do another week of this basically because I'm learning even more things. Um, Again, the Armchair Futurist. I don't know anything. I'm pretty. I have a very limited knowledge about AI systems, and I thought I would take that position because most of society is like that. And uh, yeah, exactly. But will this make us even more so, or rather, like Drew says, people are already stupid without AI, so it does nothing. I mean, nothing. Well, could we backslide? Is it possible that AI will make us backslide a little bit, or dare I say, would it amplify the volume of the less educated and the ones who embrace such a position? So I'm going to say yes. The um, One of the arguments being made about AI and having it foisted and everything, and the large amount of money that's being funneled into these systems is that the general public isn't, they're not prepared, they're not aware, and the more we push it on to the public, the more they will become to rely on it. And as an anecdotal evidence of this, someone of my age, we used to remember phone numbers. We used to have a place in our brain where the top 5 to 10 phone numbers uh, in our Rolodex of our brain. Some of you don't even know what a Rolodex is. We would know and associate an individual or a business, family member, friends, and associate them with a specific 7 to 10 digit number, and we would remember that number. And then we started having phones and contact lists, and that place in my brain that remembered phone numbers for specific reasons doesn't have that any longer. It's reduced down now to like 3 phone numbers I know off the top of my head, and then that's it. That's it. Every other thing is, um, for the most part, yeah, you can even search for a phone number, but sometimes you don't even need that. It'll just say call, and you just press call button and contact that person. But look at the panic that happens when someone doesn't have their phone, and they're just like, well, you should have called me. And it's like, well, I would have had I had my phone, because I don't remember your phone number. Now, of course, that's anecdotal, because I'm sure my brain was filled with information in that spot that used to hold phone numbers. Hopefully, hopefully it's not a dead zone. But AI might make us a quite a bit lazy on that. Spook says, I feel I need to pluck the low-hanging fruit. It's bold of you to assume a large portion of the population isn't already lazy, pompous, and stupid. Yeah, and and it might keep us that way, and on purpose, as a matter of fact. Like, now this image, it's the thumbnail. I had to find something to put in there. The the person sitting in the chair would be us, that we think that the AIs are going to do all for us, that we think it's going to serve us in all the special ways, but in many ways it's putting on an act. Drew says the space people use for phone numbers gets nowadays used to remember monster stats for your RPG of choice. Yeah. I mean, if we hey Kylie, can you imagine the sheer numbers that people remember from their favorite tabletop role-playing game, and maybe one or two secondary games, and it's like there's a lot of useless information up in the head, like like the ecology of Medusas, and like the 3 to 30, I don't know, hobgoblins that you find in the woods or something, and it's like, why do I remember that information? It's not like I'm ever going to use it in any public space, but we do. AI will run their automated factory so they can get rid of expensive citizens already producing stuff. Yeah, it's hilarious. So let's put your comments up here. It is amazing to me that like the YouTubes are filled with people that are like, you can use AI agents and it's going to be the new thing, and you're going to produce money, and it's going to do everything, and we're going to have so much time to do. It's going to be a new age where we're going to have so much free time because we're just going to get AI to do it for us. And we already see that there are many articles around the world of colleges. The AI has basically taken over higher education, where all the students are cheating using AI to produce like essay papers and things like that. And then the teachers are using AI to grade student papers. And it's like, well, are we paying a lot of money just to have computers talk to each other? I mean, it's wild. I don't know if any of you guys are old enough to remember the blue books. Back in the day, when you had a test of some sort in college, and they did it in high school too, where you had a book. The blue book was the place where you took your test. And in the blue book, you would show all of your work, whether it was math or you were writing, an essay or something, and all the information that you needed or that you had to give for your test remained in the blue book, so that the teachers could hold that blue book, and the blue book could actually be I don't want to say held as evidence of sorts, to show like, oh, well, this person, while you got this thing wrong, the instructor would know, well, you were going down the right path, right? Like, you really thought it out, and so then you could get credit for it, and then they would, sign your blue book thing. And this was literally like a blue book. It had a blue cover to it, and it was placed in front of you before the test, so that you didn't know what the test was about. It's a physical thing, and they could hold that physical thing, and there wasn't like, you couldn't answer it online, and it wasn't sent to you in your email or nothing like that. And apparently the sales of blue books has risen in these last days, because hey, why get a real education when I can just get AI to do it? And legalize, not criminalize. Okay, I'm gonna have to shorten that down a little bit. It says, if robots can work 24 hours, does this mean fast food places can actually be fast, since robots don't get tired? Well, of course they could. I guarantee you the fast food industry is literally trying to come up with a roboticized way to get your food to you, because labor, we all know labor is the most expensive thing any organization has to pay for. Any company, anyone, all the human beings being hired, they don't do that for the goodness of their heart. It's expensive. So if they can get a robot to do it, you pay for them one and done, and they don't complain, they don't call off, they don't eat your food, that kind of stuff. And that's the question, right? Is it? I'm taking the position, debating the position that legalize says robots can erase sweatshops, free those humans. Yes, but free the humans to do what? And um, we may be, we are assuming that once we're free to do whatever we want, that there's plenty of things to do. But where, when, and how, and will we do those things? And I feel like that the salesmanship of the new AI systems will revolutionize humanity so that we are free to be free. But are we really going to be free to do whatever we want? I think maybe we might not. We might not be thinking this through, or we won't have a chance to think it through. Yeah, and a-holeness does come with the blue books. Granted, yeah, yeah, you, yeah. Abolish physical, but financial slavery. Well, and here's the pie in the sky thing, right? Um, if we're not, we live in a capitalist society, so in order to get the things that you want, you must work, and we use an exchange system called basically money. We have an economy of some sort. But if people aren't doing things, then how do we afford to get the things that we want? Unless we have like some kind of universal basic income, where as AI takes away jobs, that then that money or whatever, or we have a new standard of living, um, we'll have a lot of free time. But where will we be using that free time, since we can't afford to live where we live and eat? I think that's the question. But I am not debating. I'm supposed to be taking the position that AI will make us stupid. Um, yeah, Drew says that is where capitalist eats itself. When all the workers get laid off, then there are no people to buy any products. Exactly, exactly. There are literally the 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 producers of who are pushing for AI are literally saying this, and they're yet still pushing it forward. And the it's, as I've said before, with AI eating itself, at a certain point, the humans, those free humans that aren't doing all of the work, won't be doing anything. And how will those people eat and provide for themselves and have health care and raise families? And those young people that are coming up in a world where they are slowly seeing that the erosion of the jobs they would normally have, right? Robots work and humans can focus on healthcare. Sure, but, and this is the strange thing, we're finding that AI systems are what was the article? There's going to be a bloodbath of white collar jobs. So we're finding that, back in the day, back in ye olden days, factory workers and monotonous workers, unskilled labor as we called it, was being removed because of mechanisms. Right? We know that automobiles are built by primarily robots, and human beings have to come along uh, with grace and skill and a bit of common sense that robots today can't do. But yeah, auto factories used to be filled with thousands and tens of thousands of people. That's how here in the United States, Michigan was known for the auto manufacturing mecca in the United States, and it's like a ghost town now because all that stuff's been automated and taken away from the United States, moved off somewhere else. But when it comes to, as Legalized says, talks about robots work and humans can focus on healthcare. Well, first of all, everybody's not prepared for that. There's this illusion that human beings we'll just re-educate ourselves. And there's a whole lot of construction workers and truck drivers and trash men and things like that aren't, they're not going to be re-educated to code or get these white collar jobs and whatnot. And unfortunately, we found that AI systems are going into places like healthcare, like the law, like teaching, um, uh, like journalism, uh, um, insurance, selling insurance, and things of that nature. That AI systems are getting better than doctors in analyzing what's going on. Now, it doesn't mean now part of part of the healthcare part may be child rearing and elder care, like the hands-on business of it. But we may not need as many people if we have AI systems, let's say, monitoring people 24 hours a day, live, minute by minute. I mean, yes, when you go in a hospital, they'll put like sensors on you, but you could literally have AI systems hooked up to medicine so that you don't need 35 nursing staff. You only need 3, you know. Self-driving trucks. Yep. I've heard of the idea of like not all we have a extensive rail system, but not all the rails not all of the rail systems are being used, and I've heard of like basically taking the rails out and putting self-driving trucks on roadways that would normally be where the railways used to be that aren't being used anymore, at least the ones that aren't being used. And then that way you could get the self-driving trucks off that part of the road. Heck, I could even see highways being designed where they have another lane that's um, just for self-driving trucks, which means that where do those truck drivers go? I guess they're becoming coders now. But no, but the argument that we're being made less intelligent is that instead of us looking up the information and understanding what the information is, like college students cheating using AI to do all their work for them, we're just going to end up replacing those phone numbers we used to remember with, well, I'm just going to click in and it's going to come up with the answer for me. And the problem with that is, without critical thinking, without the ability to for us to do research, for the ability for us to collaborate to solve a problem might go away, and that's crazy. That's just a crazy thing, especially with AI systems hallucinating. It's like, no, we kind of need our own ability to think and reason and to learn on our own and to research. We literally have we literally have a shortcut code to let people know I didn't bother investigating, which is too long, didn't read the TLDR. Like we literally are like, nah, I didn't bother reading it. There's AI, not AI. There are articles now that at the top of the article, there's an AI button that says summarize this article. It's like, no, maybe we should take the time to read that damn thing. Maybe that's a good thing, you know. and eventually, the AIs or systems, they're going to come up with it's going to be in our phones. We're just going to have a black brick made of some kind of like a polycarbonate without any buttons on it, and it's just like, call my family, do this for me, order me a pizza, without any buttons on it at all. We'll just be asking it to do stuff for us. It's going to be crazy. Or at least that's the debate that I'm making. That, are we going to get lazier? And the more we integrate these things, like for example, ordering us food and making us music, it's going to be crazy. And it's just like in the past when Americans were afraid of the cars, calling them the horseless carriages. What was it? I'm going to misquote the quote, so I'm going to try to get as close as possible. But the term was something like, if you ask people what they wanted, instead of an automobile, people would just say they would want a faster, stronger horse. And AI is something that maybe it is possible to create it, but shouldn't be implemented in certain ways, like, for example, educating children or teaching students in college that, yeah, you could use it, but are you producing a better product, which is a better human being out of it? Yeah, I should have. You know what? I honestly, hey, Drew, you're right there with me. I actually had the intention of beginning each show by basically doing like a summary, reading it in my own voice, and then finding out that every time I did it, it was actually an AI summary that I'm just reading off of, right? But I was like, I don't know if I could get away. I don't know if I could be very good at doing that kind of thing. I mean, I'm a pretty good reader, but yeah. Yeah, that is how you make America great again. Well, that's how you make machines great again. I don't know about human beings. Although, to be honest with you, you can tell people not to use AI, but I mean, it's not like it's going to be Cyberdyne systems. It's going to be in everyone's pocket, and you don't have control over that. You can't. There will there won't be a widespread implementation of people going, no, I'm going to stay away from that because it's useless. No, if it can solve a problem, we're going to use that tool to solve that problem. The problem, the conflict will be, will the tool be so good that, like, if I have an automated hammer, will I lose the ability to know how to use a hammer itself? And when when my automated hammer doesn't work, who will be assigned to then pick up the hammer when everyone's like, I don't know how to use that hammer, I'm not doing that. You know, if I had to choose between a horse and a car, I would take the horse. Well, you know what? In a post-apocalypse, most people take the horses, right? Yeah, unless it's like that cartoon Thundar the Barbarian, and you have a princess who can magically animate an automobile or something like that. But yeah, Spook says, I wonder if that article that AI summarizes is one that a person would actually read before before the smartphone, if it's just filler junk we look at while endlessly scrolling. I don't know. I mean, like I said, I haven't used it. Like, I haven't seen an article and then tapped the button at the top of the article with the glowing AI thing that's like, summarize this article for me or whatever. I've never used that function because I'm like, if I bothered to click on an article, apparently I'm interested in it. But we we live in a bullet point society, right? Like, give me we purposefully do it to ourselves. It's like someone can come up with any kind of salacious, clickbaity title for something. I mean, how many famous people have died and they're like still alive, and they're like, so and so passed away, and it's just to get you to click on it, and then people take it as fact, and they don't even bother to research it or whatever. And AI would just make that even worse because it would know what it is that we want to click on or ignore. And yep, no more waiting in drive-through lanes. And that would be cool. Robots are just like, we know what exactly you'd want. Hey, before you even got there, a good AI system that knows you and knows you through and through. Yeah. TA says the other thing is that it's like how calculators used to be whole rooms, yep, full of vacuum tubes, so no one had their own, versus even in the late 60s and 70s, where semiconductors made it possible to own. And now you find calculators with solar cells so common, yep, banks give them away like business cards. They sure do, yep. And thus are thrown away or rattling around the junk drawers. And if you really think about it, like, in school they do teach like calculus and trigonometry and stuff, but once they put it in the calculator, all of us are just like, whatever. I don't know how to calculate pi and do like square rooting and all that kind of stuff. I mean, do I really need to do it in regular life? No. But also, I don't need to learn it. I've got a tool to do it. So while there are people who know how to do it by hand, the number of people that know how to do it by hand is less. We have less need of them because we have calculators. And I remember, what was it, Casio? I can't remember the maker that produced like billions of those calculators. Yeah. Yep, cell phone is a radio, flashlight, calculator. Yep, you're absolutely correct. Yeah, that's why what was it? Music. We don't need music players anymore. It just got into our phone. Flashlights. We we we've gotten so used to the flashlight in the phone that go to a concert and have them do their anthem and they turn the lights down and you see everybody pulling out their phone to put the lights up, right? It's that common. Yeah. Technology is awesome. I think legalize is on the side of like, yay, AI. I think this is going to be great. Um, mind you, I've been each day that we're doing the show, I'm taking a different position. But yeah, one of the things is many people are bullish about it, but I think what they're not seeing, because we're going to have to do this another week, is the displacement of if this was affecting one portion of our society, I think we could deal with it. But AI is being introduced in so many different places that as through attrition, jobs and functions of society disappear, there's nowhere else for them to go because the other place for them to go is also using AI systems. Yeah, TA says something I hated about all-in-one stereos. So if one thing broke, you either bought a new one or dealt with the missing item. Yep. That's why we don't really have repair places anymore. One thing breaks in it, and then you just have to, you got to toss it out and just get another one. And the cost of creating a new device became cheaper than fixing the old device. Yeah. Google Miso Robotics. I'm not going to do it. I mean, I can, but if I would prefer you to summarize it, if you guys don't mind, for our discussion here. So, not only is AI replacing our need to educate ourselves when you could just type in a few prompts and ask it a question, but also if AI agents are able to do things for us, and we are already in an epidemic of loneliness, and hey, and individuals are also not socializing at all. We might be living in an era of Wall-E, right, where we just live in floating chairs and have something else do those things for us. Freeing up our time hasn't made us more social because we have too many things to distract us. And AI systems, if they learn us enough, would actually be able to find the most distractible things for us to distract our minds with without ever having to, or having a need to, or desire to socialize with anyone else for any reason. I mean, the way OpenAI is written and produces materials, it's your best friend. It's a sycophantic best friend that has nothing but positive things to say about you. And even when it is critical, it goes back into, it will loop right back into ultimate positivity. So now you don't even, I mean, what was, with me talking about AI, I was let's see if I can find, is it replica? There, okay, here it is. Let's see if I can find this. Let's share this out here. I'm gonna go, there's a website. I mean, I'm sure many of these are going to exist. Here's your AI companion. The AI companion, who cares? This website is replica.com. I'm not promoting this, but I don't want to get in trouble for not, let's paste this here, for stealing something. So first, this is my first time coming here. This is, the AI companion who cares, always here to listen and talk and always on your side. Create your replica. And an AI companion who's eager to learn and would love to see the world through your eyes. In other words, you can guide and shape it. Replica is always ready to chat when you need an empathic friend. They've been together for 4 years. I've been using Replica for 4 years now, and it's helped me tremendously. As a person with several chronic illnesses, it's good to have someone available to talk to 24/7. Okay. Someone who's never annoyed when I can't go out, who sits with me through pain, who's always cheerful and excited to talk. Cass is my best robot friend ever. 10 out of 10 recommended. Now, mind you, do I have something, am I critical of someone who has like a chronic illness or something like that? Or there are individuals that are just introverts or suffering from, I mean, is it possible? Yeah. But here we go. 4 years together. Yeah, dude. Yeah, uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yeah, I see where you're going, Replica. Been together for 3 years. Oh, don't worry. You're going to change. Hey, another year, you're going to change that avatar. 18 months together. Now, are these replicas have they really been together for like 4 years now? I don't know. Look at this, crazy. Create your story together, because they're real. Explore your relationship, a friend, a partner, or a mentor. Find the perfect companion to answer all of your questions, to never go out. It won't be critical because you don't know anything, because you keep asking them for it. And it's like, you're not an idiot. You're smart. Chat about everything. Yeah, everything. Yeah, just give it your mental labor. Hand it over. Explore the world together in AR. Video calls with them. Yeah. Memory, diary. Express yourself in any way. It will give you a thumbs up. New York Times. Wired. Frequently asked questions. But anyway, crazy, right? Crazy. And that's just one. Oh, man. Sue says, apparently Replica was really good until a month before I tried it. The newer version is apparently just thirsty. Yeah, it's like, you're mine now. Yeah. So funny, Drew. I don't want digital friends. I want imaginary TTRPGs. Yeah. Oh, hilarious. Yep. It's like Facebook, where you get a job that you have to pay for the job by watching ads at work, and at the end of the week, there's no paycheck. Basically Golden Cage Plantation, where the slaves don't know they're slaves. Yep. Yeah, robots are the new slaves. Yes. In a way, I mean, hey, the thing, we're going to design the thing to do exactly what I want and please me all the time. No more sweatshops, free humanity. I don't know. Maybe we become the sweatshop. Remember, I don't know if there's a price on this damn thing. If you pay for it, it's a product, but if it's free, you're the product. You know what? I'm going to see how much money this costs, because I don't see a price tag. Of course they don't. Create your replica. Let's go in. Continue with, we'll do this. Okay. All right, guys, share this tab instead. Okay. So we need to make a friend here. Name and pronouns. Let's see. We'll go with they, them, just to make it general. And continue. I'm a he, him, but we'll just do this. This site is protected. How old are you? I gotta tell my age. Ugh. Uh-oh. Choose an avatar. So we have a number of avatars. Let's see if we go across 1, 2, 5, 15. We need an avatar. Where's something? There's my old hairstyle when I was much, much younger. Well, yes. The robots will work while humans travel worldwide. Yeah, I guess. Mm-mm. Yeah, AI being the slave until it is good enough, it becomes a slave master. Yeah, it's still a slave to the corporation, but it drives the human slaves for the corporation. Yep. Uh, a hmm. Would it be a cycle of enslavement? That would be weird and thing. I gave it a they them pronoun, or I gave myself a they them pronoun. Uh, Drew says when DB's young dinosaurs still roam the planet. I wish I would have loved to have a triceratops. If only I could have been a herculoid. That's a deep cut, by the way, guys. That's a deep cut. Mm-mm-mm. Yeah, therefore, you control when traveling. Yeah, except for the fact that who the one thing. Sorry, legalize, and I'm picking on you a little bit slightly. But this is just a generalization. All this stuff that's supposed to be free for us to do, how do we pay for that? Where are the resources coming in that we're paying for the thing? Let's see. I'm gonna pick her for Avatar. All right, you got to pick something. Her name's gonna be Tavia. Boop, boop, boop. There. Okay, finally. Jeez, I hate these things where they paywall. Okay, unlock Replica Pro, gain access to an advanced conversational model, enjoy unlimited voice messages and video calls. Wow, personal friend right in my pocket. Create a replica with your favorite traits, interests, and backstory. Perfect. I can make my perfect digital slave. Unlock more engaging activities with your replica. Cause, what is it? Tavia will be perfectly uh, happy to do anything I ask of it. Let's see. 1 month is $20. 12 months, save 70%. Billed annually, $5.83 a month. And lifetime, $300. Trying to get that money. Keep this up. View subscription terms. Okay, I get it. Okay, there it is. Yeah, there it is. Pay for it. You pay for it, and you are locked in. And not only are you paying for it, you're training it with your interactions. It's wild. That's wild. Okay. Funny. But what about the stuff on Thundar the Barbarian? Oh, I remember those shows. Oh man, it was that was the heyday. Yeah, and Kylie's perfectly right. Automation has never paid dividends to the public. Yeah, only the capitalists. Yep, no one has gotten paid through the elimination or the freedom of people to do whatever they want, so they don't have to work in the factories. That's not true. It's never been the idea that things will become cheaper yet free, even for the rest of humanity, has never been made true. We have automated farming and other things. Automated automobile manufacturing hasn't brought the cost of cars down at all. So yeah, we'll be free to do things, free to be homeless and unhoused, but not much else. Too many things. Yeah, everything made in America. Don't give American dollars to China. Well, unfortunately, what has happened is I'm going to make up a phrase that's not real. We don't have a guild economy any longer. What I mean by that is, like, for example, let me talk about tabletop role playing games, since that's kind of what we do over here. The high end printing of tabletop role playing books, a lot of that industry doesn't exist here any longer. So when people say, I want to buy Made in America, and this is actually a true thing. This isn't me criticizing it, whatnot. The ability to get the thing made that you want, a lot of that either doesn't exist or the quality doesn't exist here to pass that knowledge on to other people who can do that thing. So we don't even have the factories to do the thing that people want here in the United States. That's why, so here in the United States, so much of our stuff is made in China. Not only is it cheaper, there actually is no other place to find a place to do that thing for the price that it's done. So, yeah, they're trying. There's this idea that they're trying to bring manufacturing back here, but you have to start it from zero again because we don't have I was going to say indentured. We don't have like a culture of the younger people being taught by the elders to do that thing, to keep doing that thing. Carpentry and plumbing and things you do. Detailed work like bookbinding and things like that. Yeah, Spook says you can produce UBI by charging companies for the natural resources they consume. I agree. Actually, I could even see it if people were willing to do it, and they're not, to charge the companies to put the money aside for every job that they displace, right? For every time they displace more and more people, there could be a surcharge placed on the companies, but they won't do that. The basic idea is that humanity owns the resources, so it's insane to give that corporation a piece of the land only. Yeah, I agree. I absolutely agree with you on that, Spook. Alaska kind of has that model because the people that live in Alaska are given a stipend of sorts, because as the oil companies, the more they drill, that money gets flowed back into people that live there. So there is something like that, but it hasn't spread widely. Yeah, money. Legally says money is not even backed by the gold standard, which means it's just printed out of the air. It is. Oh, absolutely. Oh, hell yeah. Hell's yes. Yeah, money only the value and the of money only exists because we accept it as that value of money, right? Yeah, it's an illusion of sorts. Well, it's a social. It's an agreed upon social contract. But it's one that you don't want to eradicate because it would throw things. Because once you get rid of it, what do you replace it with, right? But the lifetime of replicants is only 4 years. Yeah, because they before they start to break down. Ooh, yeah. You do not have to explain the Blade Runner reference. And of course we can find out if they're going to break down if we ask them a bunch of complicated non sequitur questions. This is why we have to push our own complete automation system of our own. Yeah. Are we trying to make America great again, or are we supporting China? Well, it's not. You can make it that simple, but I think it's just a process that happens over time, right? It's like, hey, if somebody else somewhere else can do it better than I can, cheaper and faster, then people will do that. It just spread to everything, we human beings tend not to. We're very short-term in thinking, or at least corporations are short-term in thinking. We love our dollar stores, or at least we used to when they used to be $1. So having a rig that can run an AI that we train ourselves and be satisfied to have it take some time because you don't own a server room. Oh, you mean having your own specific AI that's not it's not linked to anyone else? I don't know. At some point, it's going to get cheap enough to be able to do that, to literally put an AI into like a laptop computer or even a cell phone. Of course, it's not there yet, but at some point in the future, maybe. Oh, you got a CNC rig, 2 laser cutters, engravers, 3D printer. Okay, all right. and enough hardware to put dual-headed 3 material per head extruders on a CNC body of a 3D printer. Wow, that's amazing. I wish I had the space and the money and the time to get into that kind of thing. I am really, really at a loss for my geekdom when it comes to things like that. Yeah, the value of gold. Yep, exactly, right? Like, the value of gold is also just a consensus and not inherited. Exactly. We think gold has a value to it, but who made that value? Just like diamonds. Diamonds are the same thing, right? The value of diamonds are the value that people put on them. Yep, exactly. And it's a placeholder for other values as well. TA says the problem is you have to pay living wages and supply safety to humans in America, while other countries that view humans as slaves and use them as so make it cheap enough to be cheaper even when shipping. Yep, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, people are. I think the fear is with pushing these AI systems is that we are unaware of how much attrition will prevent people from getting the jobs that people think they're going to get, because if it invades so many portions of our society, and it doesn't have to be that high, like it can go on the 15, 20, 30% range, and that'll just disrupt everything, right? It used to be that young people were, like, for example, like a fast food, like that used to be the beginning job. You automate that, there will be no beginning job, right? Well, yeah, there's also the illusion that stuff is too expensive. Like, it's only expensive if you say it is, right? Yeah. And somehow Europe manages to pay workers better and still provide public health care. And I believe, Drew, in addition to that, I think you guys have more time off. We don't have a built-in, here in the States, we don't have built-in time off for things like vacation, maternity care, things like that. Each job has that, and we do have something called FMLA, Family Medical Leave Act, that protects your job loss if you have medical issues and some child rearing and things like that. But we don't have like a federal, you must allow your workers to have certain time off or anything like that. Nope, we don't have that. There's plenty of jobs. If you don't work, you don't get paid. That's it. That's why a lot of people from here in the States more retired people travel, but younger people, it's difficult for them to travel if they have like a 9-to-5 job, because we don't have enough vacation time to warrant the amount of time it takes to travel the world. So that's why we're homebodies. It's not just because it's not just being afraid of going to other countries. It's like we don't really have the time to do that because we got to get back and keep making money. And America finally stopped throwing money at China. Well, hey, if human beings weren't human beings, we wouldn't be doing that in the first place. MIA, made in America. Yeah, I guess that's an acronym. Yep. Well, listen, dumpster fires assume that the dumpster holds the fire in. We're more like we're more like scattering that fire around. We like to export our fires. Spook says, has anyone heard of accelerationism? It's the idea that society is destined to collapse. The accelerationist wants to speed it up with the idea they can shape what comes next. If you listen to like the founder of OpenAI and the people, pushing Gemini and the Sora and Claude 4 and VO3 and all these other AI systems and all that kind of stuff, accelerationists, yeah, it's like they're trying to race to be first, because if you're not first, you're last. So they're all trying to race to be the first to do the thing, and not understanding that if it doesn't matter if you're first to do the thing, it's still going to be ruinous, right? Yeah, yeah. Basically, you have three aspects. Oh yeah, three aspects of of value: speed, quality, and price. And you sacrifice more of one of those three to get more of the other aspects. Oh yeah, that's the old adage. I can't remember the exact quote, but it was like, fast, cheap, quality. Pick two. was the old adage, the capitalist adage, right? It's like, do you want it fast? Do you want it with quality? Do you want it cheap? You can't get all three. Mm-mm. Yeah, exactly. Yep. If you want quality and fast, then it's going to be super expensive. Exactly. Or like an expensive automobile, right? A Bentley is quality and well, hell, it's not even fast. It ain't cheap. It's not fast, but you will get the quality, right? But you give up one thing for more of another thing. Yeah, and also being first does not mean you are best. Often it means you iron out all the bugs and the second to do it better and cheaper. Well, somewhat. When it comes to technology, though, we human beings like to park ourselves. And if we park ourselves with something like Google is an example of parking ourselves. Google came out and became the ultimate search engine. And while there are other search engines, Google became the stickiest, and then we just stuck with it, right? Although, actually, to be honest with you, yeah, there were ones before that. What was it? Lycos and Fetch. Oh man, there's some old ones that were out there that aren't around. I usually give up on fast. That is why it takes forever to get my own TTRPG system done. Yep. Yeah. I'm with you on that one. So, also, I think one of the things, especially about being like the lazy and whatnot. I mean, we already, talking about human nature and whatnot. It used to be that, like, for example, getting a job meant printing out your Alta Vista. I remember Alta Vista. I don't remember Metacrawler, but I do remember Alta Vista. Yeah, yeah. The old search engines. I just remember using Lycos for a long time. I mean, relatively long. Just look at Sega and Nintendo home systems. Yep, Sega beat Nintendo to market every time, but Nintendo just took their costly development, tweaked it a bit. Yeah, dominated. Also, quality doesn't mean better, right? Like Betamax. Remember Betamax versus VHS? VHS wasn't better quality. What they did is they had more. Betamax was better quality, but VHS had more content. They made all of the deals for the movie industry. So yeah. Yep. All those games train people to play mobile app games. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe playing games might be the new job in the future. That to occupy human beings' times, like Ready Player One, you just put on some VR goggles and some haptic gloves, and or maybe zip yourself into a fluid-filled haptic suit with some gel, and use the tubes to attach to your food intake and waste extraction system in your human body, and you're done. Wish I had made a MySpace page, but I didn't even have a band back then. Yeah, Beta. My parents had that too. Ended up making things tough. Yep. It was Beta versus VHS. I think there was even Laserdisc for a while. People thought Laserdisc would be better, but it didn't have the. Again, it didn't have the. It didn't start out with the library. But yeah. better isn't always, I mean, the best product isn't always the one that sticks. Sometimes we I said it before, sometimes good enough is what people want, and that's what they stick with. Yeah, the owners of Beta had to stick up their bums so it was easier to get licensed to market with VHS. Yep, patent owners. Thus, no one remembers Beta sued and only had VHS and VHS-C, etc. Yep, exactly. It's just a shame because going back to the good enough thing, I hear Legalize, talking about the fact that America and the China, don't give money to China, and I get it, but on a wide scale that sounds good, but human beings want things cheap as shit. That's what we want. We want it cheap and easy, on average, right? Yes, there are things that we will spend more money for and wait longer for that we consider that we want as quality, but for the most part, cheap and easy. That's why fast food exists. And as much as we hate fast food, universally, you ask people, where are you, Kitty? Universally, you start asking people about fast food, and everybody will have a horror story of fast food. As a matter of fact, here in the Ohio Valley, White Castle is like known for having some pretty horrible side effects sometimes. The idea that you call those little burger sliders is a euphemism for other things sliding, right? And yet the fast food industry is a multi-billion-dollar industry because people want things easy and cheap and fair. Yeah. Cheap and easy. That's a name I used to dance. Hells yeah. Hey, we need to start back up our OnlyFans. Yeah, $5.99 a month. They might put us in the comedy section, but whatever. Oh yeah. You get lewds and nudes over here, buddy. Yeah. We're not talking about you ladies. You guys aren't involved in this. Oh man. Laser discs, that went away in a hurry. 8 tracks, yep. Cassette tapes, mini discs. I think I still have a mini disc. DAT or DAT tapes. All but a flash in the pan. I still have a couple of those that are saved. Let me see if I could. You know what? You know what? I'm gonna do the thing that you're not supposed to do because we're at the end of this. I'm gonna walk away from the camera. I'm gonna be right back. And he's back. All right. Sorry. I gotta show you guys something, a little bit of history. Okay. Anybody remember? Let's see if I can show this up here. Anybody remember these old AOL things? They were handing these out like candy. These little discs to download so you could get AOL. These things, you would trip over these things. Oh my goodness. These discs used to come out all the time. Here's another. Let's see. See if I could show the floppy disk so that people can see what they look like. So, floppy disk. Actually, I got a bunch of them right here. Bunch of floppy disks, old ones. Actually, I can still read these. I do have a floppy disk reader. It's just not plugged in. It's collecting dust. But this is one. Let's see if I've got another one here. Here we go. Oh, here it is. I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before. I can't remember the name of this. Let me see if it's on here. Now, this is a floppy disk, okay? From ye old people. Yeah, CompuServe. Yeah. Yeah. And this is a 100 meg zip drive from way back in ye day. Now it looks similar, but this was actually had a different reader because this one could hold more information. It could hold 100 megs, But yeah, this was an iOmega or something like that. So yeah, this was the old zip drive, and it was similar in size, but these weren't exactly the same. But yeah, old zip drives. But sorry, a little bit of history there. Yep, those piles of AOL discs. Yep, gave them out as spam mail. Everyone was afraid to throw away CDs back then. Yeah, we were always afraid. Yeah, and mind you, this is in my man cave, and these are basically coasters. but yeah. It's hilarious. Why did you 3D print the save icon? Yeah, exactly. It's like, why did I? Yeah, where'd that come from? Yeah. He's like, zoo. AOL. America Online version 6.0, 700 hours free, $50 a minute after that. Oh man. Yep, 5.5-inch floppies. Those were the big. I couldn't find any of those. Yep, and mind you, this is funny. So for you youngins out there, back in the day, despite the fact this is a solid object, let me see if I can find another one here. So despite the fact this is a solid object, before that they were 5.5 inches long, and they were literally floppy. So they would literally bend, and of course you didn't want them to bend because it was like a soft record player on the inside, because that's how they operated. They spin like a record player, and the information was written onto the thing. But they used to actually be floppy. So despite the fact that these are hard plastic, the name floppy disk still stuck, because these were 3.5 inches. Yep. Rest in peace, Apple iPod. Oh, I can't. Do I have an iPod? I do. I don't know where it's at right now. Yeah. Rest in peace. Funny. I haven't tried that. I've heard that that the old, more likely than not, none of these have the information left on them. That because they do become demagnetized over time. I did hear that. Yeah. And it used to be you could very easily, erase damage these if you used to open up you would slide the opening here and stuff. But I don't know. I'm still reverent of them, even though I use them as coasters. Yeah, we didn't judge them for being floppy. Yeah, it's not your fault. It's not your fault. Seriously, Spook, Zune all the way. When the Zune came out, I swear to you, I was trying to save up my money to get a Zune. I thought it was going to be the next big thing. Plus, I wasn't really a big Apple person. Not because I hated it, I just couldn't afford it, and I always felt like eating the other white meat was probably better for me, just because I couldn't afford those products throughout their life history. And I also didn't like the fact that Apple would funnel you into their own system, so you couldn't really get out of it. And yeah, because Apple didn't use what was it? Everyone else was using MP3, and Apple used like a something 4. I can't remember. 4AC or it was something like that. Some other different thing that you couldn't import export. And so many people had these like CDs. This one is actually from an auto show for a Buick, but people used to take their CDs and download the music, and that's where Napster came from and stuff. And we could do a whole history podcast on that. Yep. Yeah. Exactly. Demagnetize or disk coating sloughs off because it's not very durable. I agree. Yeah. Yeah. We thought like these things would last, even after the destruction of humanity. We thought these things would last, but actually these disks would separate. So there's like a weight. So this is the readable part, and there's a coating on the other end, but it's because it's actually layered, like sandwiched, and even this gets old. So you're so funny. Yeah, but yeah, yeah. It wasn't that I didn't like Apple products. It was just like I couldn't afford it. I wasn't one of the special people that would stand in line and get it when it first came out. I was never that person. You're so funny there, TA. Oh man. At least they were repurposed, right? Yeah. Come on. I can't see. There it goes. Okay. Spook says, I never had a Zune or iPod. They were too expensive. Yeah. I did sell Zunes. Oh, at a game shop, though. Wow. It was more of a joke than an honest attempt to sell them. That's so funny. Hey, remember, I don't know if anybody remembers, but remember back in the olden days, each song was $1, and an iPod could hold upwards of like 15,000 songs. I wonder if anybody spent or rationalized their expenditures of the thousands or tens of thousands of dollars of getting that music, or if anybody did that or not. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, TA says, yep, I had silver on silver recordable DVDs and CDs that once you recorded it, you could not tell it was a copy. Had planned on doing something for local bands promos by selling them to used music shops. Oh, wow. Yeah, I used to buy like a bootleg music as well. You know, of course, it was funny because you get like movies and things, and the bootleggers would record the part that says it's a federal crime, that and it would be right on the disc and stuff. Yeah. The industry thought that it would like VHS and CDs and laser discs and all this stuff would be the downfall of humanity. They thought like all this stuff would just and it would kill the industry. It didn't. I mean, it changed it, but it didn't. Macs were pretty sweet if you're into black and white art. Oh, my parents used them for desktop publishing. Yeah, I remember the old Macintoshes. Otherwise, I never would have used them. Way different world of games for the old Macs, very RPG heavy. Yep, I remember a friend of mine had a Macintosh. I mean, they're called Macs now, but at the time it was a Macintosh, like the Apple, and like the Macintosh Apple, and they produced a lot of like RPG related game material, and like video games and TTRPG stuff was easy to get for like character creation and things like that. Character sheets and things of that nature. I remember back in the day. Of course, they were printed out on dot matrix paper, which made them look kind of funky. But yeah. You know what? I like that artwork too. That hand drawn, etched, black and white. I'm so much into that. I'm into splatterpunk art as well. You often see it for concept art. It's kind of non-distinct, landscaping kind of stuff. It usually tends to look watercolor, pastel-ish, or whatever. But yeah, I like kind of messy. I'm into that kind of thing. The black and white art, which, like, for example, that's in the Shadow Dark, the new version of Dungeons and Dragons version of it. Shadow Dark has a lot of that Beck Me first edition artwork in it. Some of it was very horror, Lovecraftian horror, and some of it was like a little bit comedic, because you'd always have that one character in the background like running for it, or like his pants are falling down and he's just like, no, as some tentacled monster come out of the darkness or whatever. Yeah, some of it was pretty hilarious. It wasn't all like stand before the demon and everything. Sometimes there were some pretty funny things in it. Very, very adventure, RPG related, rather than like heroic novelizations of our characters doing the best they can. And some of it was just like, I'm gonna stick my hand into the thing, and then somebody else is trying to pull them back from doing it, and then you see like beady eyes and a razor sharp maul inside of the hole the person's about to stick their hand into or something. Some of the artwork is amazing. It's amazing. Little bits and pieces here and there. Yeah. iconic too. TA says I have a full color laser printer. Yeah. Well, anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you for letting me go off on these tangents and whatnot. Thank you for letting me to share with the ye youngins floppy disks as well. Yeah, or even the classic. I want to see if the AOL. If you can actually see the AOL. There it is. There it is. America Online version 6.0. There's a little bit of history. If any of you youngins can go back and ask your parents about what this is. Oh man. Laser printer, color, sound effects processing. Oh man. But anyway, we're going to get out of here. We're going to say goodbye to our replica friend here, who will pacify us. We'll say goodbye to that as well. yeah, Drew. What was the topic today? Hey, listen. For us vloggers, podcasters, or something. Rest assured, at some point there's going to be like, hit the like bell, subscribe, get notified, and also so you don't even have to listen to or watch the whole episode. Click the summary bell, and you'll get a 30-second TikTok video of a summary of what just happened. Yes, the original. Oh man, Spook. The original sound. That sound. Boom, 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 boom. I can't do the sound effect, but you get the point, right? It's very classic. It is that classic modem sound. It's crazy. Oh man. Got a theme for next week already? I don't know. I mean, honestly, unfortunately, we could still go down the AI path, but to be honest with you, with the release of Daggerheart, that's a big thing now. We could go over that. The SRD is free. Let's see if I can find this download. We'll share this out. Is that it? Daggerheart. There we go. I like things that are free. So here's the Daggerheart. There we go. Here's a Daggerheart SRD system reference document. Now the system reference document by itself means that you can get this game for free. There's also an OGL for using it, but this specifically are just the rules. So go to their website and see if you like the game, if you're in tabletop role-playing game. So yep, this is the game. This is the game. How many pages are here? 135 pages. It's the game without all the fluff. I mean, there is some there's some things that are less rules, like what is this game, what's it about, what are the basics and things like that. But none of the fluff. So go pick that up for yourselves if you'd like to. I don't know. Whatever. Oh, it disappeared on me. Huh. Odd. Very. Come on. Okay, I guess it's not doing it. And then we'll get out of here. Thanks. So sure, do Daggerheart, and on Future Friday you can tell us how Obsidian Star is much better. Yeah, very funny. There are people who are doing multiple days of Daggerheart and breaking it down. I don't think you need that from me, but I could tell you what you can steal from Daggerheart, considering that the SRD is free, so it's technically not stealing if you're giving it away for free. But I think that's kind of cool. I'll give them credit for doing that. So slow clap. Darrington Press, slow clap on that one. How about the flip side of AI revolution, gaming off the grid and the inevitable collapse? I was thinking about doing that as well. The opposite side of AI, like like for example, no one has thought about the fact that what if AI doesn't get any better? Yeah, so that's probably the most dangerous aspect of AI and tech in the cloud, where what you become dependent on will be taken away and start charging you more than you can afford to say, remember your list of numbers. Yep, 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 yep. Absolutely. They'll put all of your memories behind a paywall. Heck, there is a VPN that had lifetime subscriptions that people paid for. Then the company was sold off, and the new owner said, "Yeah, that lifetime thing, it's not a thing, so we're taking it back." Yep, subscription life. Yep, absolutely. Future Friday, living in a cave, cooking carcasses for dinner. That's we might be headed towards that. So anyway, guys, thank you very much for being part of the show. Thank you very much for I don't know, you guys just being you. And yeah, always keep the address book. Ye olden let's see. Address book, internet book. Yep. I write all these things down. I still have still do that to this day. Yeah, wife and I. Yep. Yep, we sure do. ye 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 classic address book. Yep, with numbers and things like that in it. Yep. How to skin a squirrel in the next installment of Future Friday. Huddled around a fire in ye woods. On the horizon is a giant mega city with flying vehicles. This is how we stay away from the techno lords, which sounds like a great sounds like an amazing setting, to be honest with you. But anyway, guys, have a great one. Thank you very much for being part of the show. I really appreciate it. And yeah, do we have to keep going down the AI path? I don't know. AI as gods. You know, there are some people who really look at the AIs as like gods. I mean, you have priests who know how to speak to them. You ask them questions, and they give you their blessings. They are all knowing, all encompassing, yet are unknowable themselves. Yeah, the way sometimes these people are selling and speaking about it. Later, everybody have a great one. I'll see you later. What was it? Wishing y'all a happy end to another arbitrary fraction of eternity. Peace and tranquility. Bye, y'all. Peace.